time for two of anime's most fashionable vampires to go head-to-head in a duel to the death, or in their case, total destruction.
This could actually end up being fun.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and in today's anime duel, we're pitting Alucard the Devil against Dio Brando, the vampiric stand user. For this video, we're looking at one thing: who would win in a fight between these two characters? Forget their status as anime icons, forget the quality of the series. We will be taking into account everything these two bloodsuckers have at their disposal when it comes to facing down an enemy. It's 5 rounds, winner takes all, so get ready to see some red. Round 1, Intelligence.
You're an idiot.
Master.
You chose the night. Once you've turned your back on the light of day, all the sunlight should ever mean to you is smoldering pain and a slow death.
When you've been alive for as long as these two, survival doesn't come by accident.
They call you Nightwalker. Beyond human.
Cunning and a sharp mind are as vital to a vampire's success as blood and sunscreen. Both Dio and Alucard are, above all else, survivors, and they both have the experience to assess and break down any threat. Alucard especially knows more about the occult than anyone else, living or dead, and uses that knowledge to identify threats and exterminate them in the most efficient way possible.
It's time to educate you on how a real vampire does battle.
Dio, on the other hand, may not be as knowledgeable or experienced as Alucard, but his shrewd mind and, let's face it, absolute brilliance are some of his most powerful assets nonetheless. Never one to fight fair, Dio is a master manipulator who will lure his enemies into traps, doing his best to win the battle before it even begins. He also knows how to get the most out of his own abilities and use them in ways that even Alucard might never expect. Sorry Alucard, but Dio takes round 1 with ease. Winner, Dio Brando. Round 2, Weapons, Powers, and Equipment.
Explosive or mercury?
Mercury tips, and they're already blessed.
It's perfection, Walter.
Trust us when we say that this one would be a fight for the history books. While both Alucard and Dio are vampires, their top-tier powers couldn't be any different. Both have the typical vampire perks like enhanced strength and speed, but there is a hell of a lot more to them than meets the eye. While it's safe to say that their mind control abilities would be useless against one another, Dio, for example, can actually stop time with his stand ability, the World. This technique is immensely powerful, and in this fight, Dio would have no reason to hold back. As if that wasn't powerful enough, after draining the blood of Joestar Patriarch, Joseph, he reached his unparalleled awakened form, taking his powers up several notches. In the other corner, there's seemingly no end to Alucard's list of superhuman abilities. A product of 100 years of the Helsing family's occult knowledge produced the most powerful vampire, and possibly the most powerful being in the universe.
Yes, bring me more. Try to pierce my heart with your bayonets.
You'd need an encyclopedia to keep track of Alucard's full skill set, which includes shapeshifting, precognition, and he's even become so powerful that he can transcend time, space, and the physical realm.
That's right.
Even if Dio has the ability to stop time, it's hard to accept that his powers alone would carry him through the fight. Winner, Alucard.
Come on, get up, attack me! You've only suffered the loss of your legs. Summon up your familiars. Transform your body. Heal your severed legs and stand. The evening is still so young.
Round 3, Strength and Endurance. We all know how absurdly powerful these two contenders are, but their ability to stay in the fight and go tit for tat would be equally important here. Both are super strong, with Dio having a slight edge when it comes to pure physical prowess. In order to compete with Jonathan Joestar, Dio turned himself into a vampire. This not only made him fast, but absurdly strong, and in the world of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that's saying a lot. Alucard is no slouch in this regard either, as he can rip a man apart with his bare hands. He does, however, rely a lot more on his other powers, so if this were a contest of strength and fighting ability, Dio would win this by a landslide. Endurance is a factor here too, however, and Alucard can, and has, literally been destroyed on a number of occasions.
He is nothing like any vampire you've ever known. Your tricks won't kill him.
That barely slows him down, however, and his regeneration abilities outmatch even Dio's, as Alucard can reform his body from any wound, no matter how little of him is left.
It's a monster!
Winner, Alucard.
A monster such as myself. A creature of such weakness that I could not bear the weight of a human life. If I am to be defeated, it must be by a human.
Round 4, Determination.
一番の金持ちになるだと。ああ、なってやるとも。利用できるものは何でも利用してやる。このジョースターとかいう貴族も。
On the surface, it looks like this round could be a tie. Both vampires never leave a fight unfinished, and both take their work very personally. Alucard, for instance, is a lot more than just a monster hunter, as all he really wants is to find an opponent powerful enough to bring him down, or hell, even pose a challenge.
I'm grateful that the world still breeds such madness. Now, it's time to play, Alhambra! I want to hear you squeal like a pig.
However, we have no doubt that Dio is an honest contender in this regard, and maybe his own desire for self-preservation would be enough to tip the scales of the entire fight in his favor.
その証に自首するために戻ってきたんだよ。逃亡しようと思えば外国でもどこへでも行けたはずなのに。確かに。
Dio also has unlimited patience and has been known to spend years among his enemies pretending to be their friend just so he can learn how to exploit them. He's proven time and time again that his will to survive and need for revenge drives him to do seemingly impossible things, and Alucard's own self-hatred means he will always hold back just a little. After all, Alucard sees mortality as a strength, and his own immortality is tied directly to his will to live.
It shouldn't be too long, my nemesis. I'll see you in hell.
This round goes to the proven and resolute survivor Dio Brando, who always keeps himself alive to fight one more round.
このディオを暗殺することはできん。
Winner, Dio Brando.
不死身、不老不死。俺はこの世を支配できる。
Round 5, Weaknesses.
ラッシュの速さ比べか。
Becoming a vampire is a big deal, but as much as your average vampire gains a ton of power upon transformation, they also soak up quite a few serious weaknesses. Dio himself wouldn't last very long in the sunlight, as his time-controlling The World ability has limited range. Still, he has survived encounters that would destroy lesser beings, and always has a trick or two up his sleeve. It's safe to say that both of our contenders' biggest weaknesses is overconfidence, and Dio is often victim to losing his own composure. As much as Dio loves to gloat and monologue, however, Alucard is just as guilty in that regard.
Eat this!
However, as Alucard is a super enhanced vampire, he has overcome all of typical vampires' weaknesses. Sunlight and silver are no problem for him, and he shrugs off all traditional weapons with a laugh.
The nail of Helena.
Prepare! Anderson, stop it!
Indeed, the only things that have ever made Alucard blink are the most potent of holy weapons, and while Dio may be resourceful enough to scrounge up one or two of these relics, the disadvantage their necessity puts him at gives this round and the fight to Alucard, the ultimate vampire. Winner, Alucard. There you have it, folks. In this battle of strength, willpower, and cunning, Alucard, the king of vampires, takes it all with a score of 3-2, proving himself to be as powerful as he is arrogant.
Excellent. I haven't had this much fun in ages. What did you say your name was?
Do you agree with our outcome? How do you think Dio might overcome Alucard? For more awesome videos published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
これで終わったな。